Welcome to the 15th episode of the wondrous Star Wars The Old Republic, where I am playing on my Sith Inquisitor Javiik. And in this playthrough, if this is your first time here, we are focusing a lot on the story and the lore and the background in the game, rather than just doing a plain playthrough. We are finishing up Dromund Kaas because I found out there is a whole area that I accidentally forgot to explore before we move on to the next planet. And I finally realized why I did not actually get to this area. So here is the main Cass city right in the middle. And here's the Dark Temple where all that cool Force Ghost stuff happened a few episodes ago. Normally, before they changed the game to allow all speeders to be unlocked, you would run from Cass City all the way through here, all the way through the tunnel, all the way up here, and to the temple. But what I did was I just realized that there was a speeder here and a speeder here, and I hopped on it and flew right over, and I just didn't even travel to this area at all. No quest sent me here, and I have a feeling this is going to be an issue I'm going to be experiencing a lot. I'll just have to try and remember not to speeder my way too far. I'll still use them for convenience, but I'll try and make sure I at least run through once before I just speeder my way through. So here is another quest we almost left the planet before experiencing.
Can you sense it, my lord? Something out there? I wish it were in my head, but I know it's real. Please excuse me. It's these long nights, excavating relics near the Dark Temple. I'm Major Swain Lothar, Imperial Reclamation Service. My team uncovered several significant artifacts at a nearby dig. That's when things started going wrong.
Perhaps your team exhumed something.
They didn't report anything like that. Just the artifacts. Then the mysterious visitors. First, it was strange noises from the temple, then figures lurking nearby. My team didn't like it, but I told them to push on. Now they're days overdue, and I owe a report to Lord Duan. But I can't go out there. I need someone to find them, make sure the artifacts make it.
Those artifacts will be with the Empire soon.
Thank you. I was just about to write the whole dig off as a loss. My team's still in those caves. Whatever's happened, please bring those relics to Lord Duan. He's overseeing a small camp by the Dark Temple.
Alright. I am sensing some more artifact findings. So, search for the lost archaeological expedition. So, in the news for Star Wars The Old Republic this week, there is a surprising lack of news. I was so excited last time I was playing because I told you all that on the next episode I will be able to tell you about the Umbara update, because it will have happened. It was supposed to actually have happened 2 days before this video gets released. And unfortunately, the update was very much delayed. And what happened was, first they delayed it by a day, and then they said we're actually going to delay it by a second day. And so what happened was, one of the community members of the developer team said, "Hey folks, I apologize for the late notice on this. We are going to delay the launch of the game update 5.4 by 24 hours. Crisis on Umbara's maintenance will now be later." As we do with all updates, we continually test until it goes out the door. There's some more stuff to kill. That's not part of their developer's message. From this testing, we discovered a critical bug with the Crisis of Umbara flashpoint. This bug can prevent a substantial amount of gameplay when a player experiences it, from not playing the intro cinematic to not allowing re-entry into the instance. I'm not very good at this is why I need to learn to keybind, because if I can keybind properly and know my abilities so hardcore that I don't even need to look, then I can read and fight at the same time. Due to the severity of the bug, we are not comfortable releasing the game update in its current state. And so the good news is that they've been very forward and upfront. Where's my missing team? Are they up here? They've been very forward and upfront about the update being delayed. There was no lack of information. They told us why it was being delayed, why it was important, when it was going to be delayed to. They even technically gave a time date. We're hoping it doesn't get pushed back again. So I'm obviously not happy it's being delayed. That kind of sucks, especially for anybody who's really looking forward to it. But at the very least, They did give us all the details, and it was for a good reason. I'd rather it come out fixed completely so people can enjoy it rather than a buggy mess. Because we've had that happen before. The artifacts are clearly missing and look to have been violently removed. There is a hollow.
I've only a moment to rest. Those things from the Dark Temple are attacking again. Jez thinks they're drawn to the artifacts. I bet he's right. They went berserk the second we packed everything up to leave. It's time to make a stand. If those crazies want our relics, they'll have to kill us first.
Found the relics, I guess. Oh, maybe they're not. I figured they'd be in these crates. Looks like they are... oh, further up the path. We definitely should have gone through this way, because you're supposed to do this quest on the way to the Dark Temple. But we've already done the temple itself. So what I did want to share is some of the fun stories about things being bugged in the past. So one of my... on the SWTOR subreddit, the update was posted and many people were like, yeah, I'm glad they're fixing it. Other people were like, I'm so bad it's being delayed. And both are pretty fair reactions. Like, it's okay to be sad or upset that what you're expecting isn't coming. And then some players are kind of posting armchair developer comments like, why do they even test this? Don't they have public test server? Don't they have people checking for these kind of issues, not just the day before it comes out? This area is really pretty. Just taking a moment. Like, look at this. Okay, now that we've taken a minute to smell the Yozusks. And that is a kind of unfair comment, or I guess more a comment made without the knowledge. When games are made by large companies, I don't know about small companies, if you're a one-man team, you're probably testing it all by yourself. When games are made by companies, usually what happens are there's a whole bunch of steps to the process. Usually starts somewhere with concept development, like what are we doing in basics, and it goes to the writing team to decide what's going on. Then it gets handed off to all the people who actually physically make the game, like make all the textures, put things in their place, do the animations, all the technical bits and pieces. Let's see, where's our archaeological team? You guys look like you have some relics. Yes, yes you do. And then once everything is sorta kinda done, like not all the way complete, they usually start giving it to a test team. And I don't remember exactly where they said their main testing team is, but it's in a different country somewhere in Europe. And they have a team they're very comfortable with who do the first round of testing. Then sometimes they will let, and obviously the developers are testing it themselves along the way. They have to play what they make. And then sometimes they pass it on to individuals that they know either in the business or they worked with for a long time to test it out, and they're on very strong non-disclosure agreements. They literally can't even say that they're testing it. They can't say nothing, nada. And then the next step, if they want to, is to put it on a private test server. And a private test server is kind of like a duplicate of the game, but it has some of the newer content. It often doesn't have the newest version. That's usually called the build version or something like that. And that is what they have actually like on their computers in the office, and it's not actually accessible outside of the office. What's this pillar of light? Can I? Oh, good, we can get that. 6 out of 10. This area is also very cool. When I first played the game, I played on quite a lower end computer and I couldn't see a lot of the effects. Like there's this really pretty kind of misty fog. I'm not sure if you guys can see it in the video itself, but there's lots of nice little tiny subtle effects that you miss out on if you're on a lower end computer, like if you're playing on the low setting. The game's still beautiful on low compared to other games. I guess you could say that you'd be playing at the time also on low, but it's such a difference on a higher end computer. So like I said, the next step is called a private test server, and this is a version that has to be a little more accessible. The version that's on their computers at the office often is missing quite a few things. So for example, maybe to test Flashpoint, You don't actually have to go into the door of the Flashpoint. You don't have to do the cutscenes like you would in the normal game. Maybe you just type Javiik, teleport to Flashpoint, and suddenly you're in it and you can go test the boss fights. Maybe you can give yourself God mode and not have to actually fight the ads while you're running to the boss that you want to test. There's all kinds of little differences that don't exist in the real game, because there's all different parts being worked on simultaneously. So for example, they have the writers writing the dialogue and the voice actors recording it, and that might actually be happening at the same time as one of the developers is working on animating the skeletons. So we know there's all kinds of crazy beasts in the Umbara Flashpoint, and let's see, what's one of them off the top of my head? I don't even remember. There's something that's like a giant rancor that you can fight. I can only assume you can fight. They mentioned it in the short story. And so maybe someone's animating the skeleton for that beast. Maybe another artist is working on the texture of his skin because he's got little glowy bits and they gotta get those just right. And that could be happening all at the same time. Maybe some other guy is placing down trees elsewhere in the Flashpoint. So you don't just go all the time 100% step by step from the start to the end. So while you're testing, if no one's built the cutscene, you obviously can't enter the Flashpoint the normal way. So they have all kinds of tricks and tips to test while they're on their private servers. But when they put it on the private test server, that server is going to be very similar to the one that you and me play, the normal one. It has to have a door that we can walk into, has to have some NPCs we can talk to, has to have an actual path we can walk on. We can't teleport. That's just not in our realm as normal players. So the private test server usually has a wide variety of individuals. For example, influencers have been invited for a lot of the most recent rounds. You'll have seen me, SWTOR Central, Kid Lee, lots of other people testing the two newest bosses in the newest operation. There's a couple of videos that we are allowed to release, and other times there's let's talk to this guy and I'll tell you more later.
Your archaeologist team is dead. Killed for the relics they uncovered. I have them now.
Interesting. The Dark Temple's presence continues to surprise and fascinate. I'll quarantine the artifacts for future study. A shame we lost the whole team. At least it wasn't a total loss. After all, we got what we came for.
Just doing my good deed for the decade.
Whatever secrets these pieces hide, we'll find them. Thank you.
That was such a lore-empty quest. You're going to find, like, we've had so many cool artifact quests. We've done Tulak Horde artifacts. We've done all kinds of Sith Lord artifacts. We did, saw those ghosts in the temple. That one was just a very fetch quest. Alright, let's go finish up that really cool quest we started earlier with the Sith lady who wanted her own kingdom coming down to invade Coruscant.
Destination?
So
Enjoy
other
your
types
stay.
of people that have been invited, maybe friends of the developers who are in the industry, maybe players that have shown in the past that they've defeated the hardest content in the game and they really know their stuff and know what to test and how to try and break the game. Maybe individuals who have just shown that they do a really good job reviewing the content and going into detail of it, because what the developers need the most from testers are 1, finding bugs so that they can fix them before it goes out live, and 2, adjusting the content so that it's both fun, enjoyable, and the right difficulty for more normal players. So for example, they did the operation bosses on the private test server, and they wanted to know, is this the right difficulty for them? Is there anything that's breaking? Just that kind of stuff. I obviously can't go into too much detail, but the kind of things that they could fix before it comes out. Is it fun? Is it working? Is it working the way you think it should work? Because, for example, maybe the boss fight works exactly as intended, but everybody beats it in 2 seconds flat. This is not the actual case, but just an example. And it's way too easy, even on hard mode, and everybody hates it because it's, oh, I went too far. Because it's way too easy. So they might take some time before it goes live to play with it and make it feel like the right difficulty. So that's the private test server, and the individuals on it have one extra thing that they have to keep in mind. They are also under a strict non-disclosure agreement. They cannot post screenshots, They cannot put videos up unless they have very special permission, and that's usually near the end of testing when everything's mostly working as intended and there's not any major bugs, because that would be not exactly something they want to showcase. You can't tell anyone about your experiences. You can't even write guides based on your experiences. It's very specific. You can't, like, let's say there's a new planet and there's a new datacron on it and you want to write a guide about how to go get that datacron from the... Oh, let's push him off! Yes! Goodbye! Thank you for the reminder, those of you in the comments who tell me to use all my cool abilities. Oh, can we push them both off? Oh, it's not gonna be off cool all the time. There we go. Ooh, what's that? Ooh, I'm now dark side 1. Bye-bye. See, can we see any difference with Javiik? Oh my gosh, his eyes turn orange! Oh, die so I can show everyone. Die! Die, Droid, die! Okay, let's see. Now that we are dark 1, look at that! He used to have like yellowy greenish cat eyes, and now they're like a yellowy orange. It's very noticeable. Oh, that's awesome. I wonder, I know humans get very like veiny and kind of creepy and old looking, and their eyes change color too to red. I wonder how it affects a Cathar. Hi! I feel like Force Push is my reward for not having picked a stealth character. I can just kill things by pushing them off ledges. Oh, where is it? Oh, I see. The map's trying to send me all the way down there. I wonder if I can carefully jump my way down. Oh, I'm gonna go with a no. Bye! That was a fail. 3, 2, 1. So the people who go on have to be kind of trustworthy individuals. They aren't always, and stuff does get leaked. And it's not that they don't trust the general population, it's just that they have to try and make sure that things like the story doesn't get leaked out, or maybe they're testing a boss and it really sucks when they first put it on the PTS. They don't want people going around saying, oh, this boss sucks, it's so bad, its mechanics are da 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 da, and they're like, dude, we're still testing it, that's the reason you're here. How do we get down there? There's gotta be some elevator over there. These were the ones we first took yesterday. So they don't open it up to the public. Then after that, sometimes they will open up a public test server, and they used to do this a while ago, and that is totally open, no issues about talking about it. You can tell your friends what you saw on there, you can take a video of it, you can do whatever you want, you can write a guide about it. I actually have used that in the past to make stronghold guides because I didn't want to spend my real money to unlock all the strongholds yet because I was still poor. Still a bit of a credit noob. Okay, I smell the elevator. It's gotta be somewhere around here. Oh, we could have gone down over... Oh, no, we could have not gone down over there. Oh, I saw a blinking light and thought it was a datacron, sorry. Train. Can you get a little push? Ah, oh, you didn't go off because there's a thing in the way. Oh. Or maybe you did. See, is there an elevator over here? No, there's not an elevator over here. Can I jump down there? Yeah, it looks like I can. I'd go hide a datacron there. Oh, there's a chest sitting over there. Oh, that's cool. Woohoo! There's literally no proper way to get over there except to do this. I would totally hide a datacron up here. I see there's like a nice little box. And over on the side. Okay, down we go. Surprise! Oh. Let's see if we can get this box here. Yay, we got some nice stuff. And it gave us some crafting mats, which is actually pretty good, especially as a free-to-play player. It can be very difficult to get them, so if you see any of those glowing blue boxes, definitely take some time to pick them up, especially as a free-to-play player. Is he a special one? No. And now we're over here and we can't even get down. That is some baloney. Maybe if I die, it'll put me back down there. Just easy mode. Oh, Javiik. Always trying to take the easy kitty way. So the public test server, they have actually not done this in a while. The last time I remember them doing this was about the time... Oh, yes! We started off on the bottom this time. Maybe we can work our way down from the bottom up. The last time I think it was when Guild Flagships came out. Don't quote me on that one, because I don't remember for sure, but it was a very long time ago. It was for sure after Strongholds came out, but not any time, I don't think, within the last 2 years. One of the main reasons I think that they don't do this is because it's a lot of work to get everything ready in a state that people can test it properly. So for example, like I said earlier, let's kill some droids. Oh, I'm not at the bottom, darn it. There's just gonna be a video of me not being able to follow maps, isn't it? You guys are gonna be like, the elevator is just over there, Swtorista! And here I am, and it'll be the next day and I won't be able to hear you. So like I said, it's on the version that they have in their office. They often use things to teleport and cut around, and everything doesn't have to be 100% finished. When they put it on the private test server, things have to be mostly finished. Sometimes there's like shortcuts to get into the flashpoints or operations or whatever, anything like that you have to test because maybe the cutscenes aren't ready yet. But everybody going on to the private test server knows the deal. They understand they're helping test something that isn't finished yet. But when it goes on the public test server, it is supposed to be pretty much like 90% done. You're literally on there just to find the last weird remaining bugs. And if you're in crunch time, if you're really coming close to a deadline or something like that, you do not have time to prep it enough for everyone to test it. And it even takes a lot of work just to set it up so people can get invited to the darn public test server. So I think the last time they did it was maybe an expansion when they were working on something for a long period of time and not just like, this is coming out in 3 months. And I don't see them doing it again anytime soon. Oh, look at this guy. This is Valkyrie the Vicious. It's very cool. Oh, help me kill him. Here. I hate when my camera does that, drives me bonkers. Okay, so we have managed to find our way down finally 6 years later. And now let me get back to my main point about the reason things aren't always thoroughly tested. So first off, sometimes the content isn't even available on the public test server. Sometimes it's not available on the private test server, often because maybe they're running into deadlines, maybe they don't want to have spoilers out there. For example, I don't think the Knights of the Fallen Empire was ever on the any of the main test servers at all. I don't remember ever hearing about it. Might have been. I might have just not been invited. And maybe there wasn't enough time. And then on top of that, let's say something is on the private test server, the public test server has been tested the heck out of internally and with their private test team in another country, and 1,000 people have tested it. Sometimes there are bugs you just don't find from normal testing. So if you're saying, go test this flashpoint, what do? You take your character in and you go do the flashpoint. Nothing bad happens? Okay, awesome. Oh, you get stuck on that rock? Awesome. That's probably going to happen to anyone else who runs into that stupid stuck rock. But sometimes the things that cause bugs are really weird, and they're edge cases, or they're just something that you don't test. For example, on the private test server, what happens is if you're invited, you copy over one of your main characters. So I copied over my main trooper character, or I could copy over Javiik if I wanted to. He wouldn't be much use in the operations, seeing as he's only level 24, but I could. And he would come along with all types of random little things. For example, what is he wearing? What quests have he done? What quests hasn't he done? Which dialogue choices has he chosen? And he has a whole bunch of variables that are saved to his character that may not come with a pre-made character. Sometimes if you're testing on, I don't actually know how they test the other servers, but maybe they don't use actual characters. Maybe they just use sample characters. I know when I went to the Shadow of Revan press conference, they were pretty much finished, and they were showing it off to different gaming sites, and I got invited just for fun, and we were using a kind of throwaway character, a pre-generated character, and that character probably did not have as many variables. They were wearing some really simple armor, kind of like the level 60 armor you get with the tokens. It's all of a matching set. I don't even think they'd done their class story. Technically, they were just a fresh level whatever character that could do the content. So what happens is sometimes these weird variables break, and they break things bad sometimes. And I will give you the funniest example of something breaking something I have ever heard of in my life. Quite a while ago, there was a cutscene that was giving players quite a bit of issues. This was maybe 3 or 4 years ago, closer to the game's start than nowadays. And what would happen is characters would enter a cutscene, the game screen would start vibrating, and eventually would cause players to have to quit out of the game because their character would be stuck and they couldn't do anything, and there didn't seem to be any real cause. Like, it wasn't like a graphical issue, it wasn't a computer issue, it wasn't because they were using a low-end computer or doing something weird, and nobody could figure out why for the longest time. And then, this is where it goes down in history as the funniest bug ever. Apparently, the solution was to remove the gloves from your companion, specifically Kaizen Fess. Apparently, certain pairs of gloves on certain companions were causing the entire cutscene and the entire game to bug out. And that's not something you can catch every test playthrough. So what I'm getting at is, even if they do all the proper channels of testing with their internal crew, the actual developers, their test team, people on the private test server, and even sometimes the public test server, there's going to be cases that don't get caught. I'm gonna die! I see a case that's not got caught. Go away, you guys. Why are these guys so strong? Oh, it's because this is a heroic we're finishing up here. Heal me, Kimball, heal me! Here, Zach. Okay, there we go. And why don't they just push it through? Screw those people with the gloves. We've been waiting for this update for a while. They said it would come out on this day, blah blah blah. Why not just let it go through? We've actually experienced that before when they knew about a game-breaking bug and they had promised a deadline and decided to just kind of get it out. And it was such a mess. For anyone who remembers, this was the Ziost update, I believe. It was either Shadow of Revan or Ziost, and it caused many players to not even be able to progress with the cutscenes. And it was so bad, so many people were upset, they'd been waiting so long for it, and now that it was out, it was literally unplayable. So they definitely learned their lesson about that one, that is not worth it, and it's definitely going to be better to delay it. Even if for 2 days time and you gain a player base that's actually able to play your content instead of rage quitting because it's literally unplayable. So that's my story time for today about developers and their testing cycles. If you've ever tested a game before, if you've ever been invited to another MMO to test, or a game to test, or even just a program for something else non-gaming related, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. I'm sure you guys have lots of crazy experiences as well, maybe from SWTOR's test server, or maybe from another game's test server. So far, my favorite test experience has been, like I mentioned earlier, I wanted to create some guides for about strongholds, but it can cost up to like 8 to 13 mil to unlock some of them, and I just didn't have enough credits. So, like I mentioned earlier, on the test servers, you can copy characters over, but you can create multiple copies of the same character. So let's say you have 2 million credits on your main character,
We'll never be
and
able
you
to
copy
prove
them.
Lord Gratham was behind the transmissions that allowed her invasion, but it doesn't matter. Everyone who matters knows the truth, and Gratham is already losing influence and followers.
Oh, that was such an anticlimactic end to that. I thought we were gonna like get to fight. Oh, we did. That was her. That was Lord Titonis. Hey, bae. Sorry, I didn't even realize who you were. She's pretty cool looking. I hate to break it to her, but she's not getting her own kingdom. Oh wow, we actually got a decent gift. It's a treasure hunting mission, and it's a purple grade item. Like, it's got a purple border, but I think we can still use it if we had treasure hunting the crew skill. And it gives you like a special mission that gives you better rewards than the normal ones do. They're really nice. I used to just hoard them up on my characters and use them to help me level up crafting. You can also use them on your high level crafting character with companions with high influence, so it'll return the best rewards. Okay, I do believe we may have finished every quest on Dromund Kaas yet. If not, I don't know where else to look. But as I promised last episode, we are going to finish up our wonderful hunt for datacrons and lore, and we found 3 of the 5 datacrons last time. Now we're gonna go get the last 2. We are looking for the yellow matrix shard and the endurance +2 datacron. So once again, I have my SWTOR-spy.com window open that you guys can't see. And this one seems to start... Ooh, we were over there before. Do you guys remember when we did that boss killing? Apparently there's one over there that we totally missed. Let's see if we can quick travel over there and save us some travel time. Because Javiik has already walked 1,000 miles and he doesn't need to walk 1,000 more. I have this window open right here to use my quick travel. Thank you. Thank you, Kimball. And I'm noticing that I have an ability called Pride of the Cathar. There is a racial ability for all races. Twi'lek get to dance, Togruta get to kind of tell a story to Campfire. Apparently, I have Pride of the Cathar. I don't know exactly what it does though, because I've never tested it before. Wah! Apparently, I turned into lava. For all of you who have been following along for the WONDERTALK series, if you don't know what that is, it is a series where I'm focusing specifically on the lore and Javiik's background and roleplay stories. So for example, his story outside of what the main story gives us. We talk about his former master, not Lord Sash, one that we made up, and his master's master, and his crazy Sith alchemy, and Javiik's decisions in life and his motivations, stuff like that. If you're ever interested, just look for the WONDERTALK videos. They are also in the same playlist as this one. And you guys have talked a lot about Cathar being a prideful species, so if you ever wanted some proof about that, there you go. He literally has an ability called Pride of the Cathar. Boom. I will never refute that statement now. Oh, speaking of lore and species and stuff like that, you guys have been having a lot of interest in Umbara lately. I posted a video up about what to expect in the Umbara update that is now delayed, so have some fun with that. And Umbara has actually been around a very long time. Some of you have commented. I said in that video that it was introduced with the Clone Wars, and I guess I was trying to say it was introduced in the current canon. I don't know if it existed technically before then. Arojamanja. But some of you pointed out that it has existed for a very, very long time in Star Wars lore in a wide variety of formats, from tabletop games to card games to comics to all kinds of crazy places. Oh, I forgot these things are evil and they will hurt my face. I don't know if Kimball can keep up with this. I don't want to die! Run, kitty, run! Go force feed, yes I do. Run, kitty! Oh, I thought the fall was gonna kill me. I was gonna laugh. Come on, Kimball, stop fighting them! Come on, go, go, go!
I'm unfollow.
Oh, apparently the world boss is slipping right now. Oh, I think he's on the other side. That was really fun. I'm looking forward to the next planet. I get to do that with my guild. They're a good bunch. I think they enjoyed it too. Okay, we're in relative space safety now. Let me go check my map. It says right in that area we just were, there's a datacron. I see a chest up there. Oh, I have to get back up there somehow. Gotta fight all the monsters. Looks like we might have to go across that waterfall. I think I just might run through it. I don't feel like being very heroic today. These guys will really hurt your face. That is a good thing though. With the level sync, and with the kind of dumbing down of the game a bit. They've made companions really strong, they've made enemies less strong, they made you level up really fast. It is nice to have things that are a challenge still available. Just not right now while I'm trying to hunt for datacrons. Run, Javiik, run! Okay, we are in the right direction. Oh yeah. I keep seeing things that you can get as decorations for your house. I think there's like a makeshift fence decoration that you can get. Here we go. I bet you if I had done a proper sweep of this area, ooh. I'm gonna go with, I see it over there. Do you guys see it in the distance? There it is. There she blows. Let's see if I can even get over there from here. Probably have to like go some crazy way. Oh, they're really pretty though. I like the datacrons. I like the noise they make too. Okay, so seeing as I don't think I can climb up a waterfall, let's go see if there's like a hidden cave or pathway somewhere around this way. Maybe you have to go somewhere really out of the way. Maybe you have to come from the back there, I don't know. And in SWTOR news, that was really about it. Basically, they said, we are trying really hard to fix everything that's broken so that we can have the update out ASAP. And for those of you who don't really know about the update, it is for level 70 players who have finished pretty much all the storyline the game has to offer. It specifically comes after, it's part of the Knights of the Fallen Empire story, and then it comes after Iocath. It's a direct continuation. Woo! Oh my gosh, I know that guy. Okay, so he's part of an achievement that if you're going for one of the Beastmaster ones, you have to kill him, and it can sometimes take forever to get him to spawn because he was broken for a while. And once someone killed him, he just wouldn't come back for like days until they reset the server. Touch it, Javiik. Touch the button. Here we go. Galactic History 18. The Hutt Cataclysm. Since its victories against the forces of the Tyon Cluster, the Hutt Empire had continued to expand its influence. It now controlled dozens of systems, and the Hutt criminal enterprises extended even into Republic space. But the greed of the Hutts was insatiable. Insatiable? Oh my gosh, I can't see. And their long lifespans meant grudges could be carried for centuries. Rivalries became open hostilities until their entire empire was embroiled in the Hutt Cataclysms, a series of conflicts that saw devastating weapons unleashed on Hutt-controlled worlds. When the Cataclysms ended, the Hutt homeworld of Varl and hundreds of Hutt colonies had been rendered lifeless. Seeking a new homeworld, the Hutts began relocating to the planet Evokar, slowly buying parcels of land from the Evokai people. Eventually, the Hutts owned the entire planet, which would later be called Nal Hutta, or more often simply Hutta, the glorious jewel. That is very interesting. I always assumed that Nal Hutta, because it had the word Hutta in its literal name, was always the Hutt homeworld. I didn't realize they had to evacuate and try again somewhere else. And I didn't realize it had a name before that. Poor Evo Kai. Okay, looks like our last Datacron is somewhere on, you guessed it, Lord Grathan's estate. And it looks like it's somewhere right before you enter his house, so good thing we're actually not too far from Lord Grathan's estate. We're just a spick and a span away. And if you guys ever have any questions about the game, whether it's an opinion, like do you think it's worth playing, or do you think I'd enjoy this class, or if it's something more specific, like how do I go find this quest, or how do I start this type of thing, you're always super welcome to ask in the comments. It's actually my hobby to answer questions. I kind of use it like, I watch my comments like some people watch text messaging. I just have it on my phone, and when I have some free time, I take a train to work that takes me over an hour every day, so I have a lot of free phone time, I guess you could say. I spend that time watching movies, reading cool stuff on Reddit, and answering you guys in the comments. Oh, are we going the right way? I think I have to turn over here. Things are trying to eat my face. So like I mentioned, it's part of my hobbies. If it's something that you want a little answer for, I'm happy to answer. If it's something you want like a longer answer for, or lots of opinions, or maybe something you think I might not even know the answer to, I suggest to go post on maybe the official Star Wars forums if you have a subscription, or if you don't, you're welcome to come post on reddit.com/r/SWTOR. Just Google Reddit SWTOR, it's the first one on Google. And that's usually a nice place to ask questions. People are usually pretty helpful. If it's a common question, you could always try looking in the sidebar first, see if it's something that's already answered. Like we have all kinds of guides like, oh, you haven't been helping me this whole time, Kimball. How dare you? I know I'm your master and you should listen to me, but you don't gotta listen to me while I'm getting mauled to death and you're laughing because I told you to go on passive. Haha. We have a lot of guides in the sidebar, and we have links to guides on other sites too, like some of the frequently asked questions. Like for example, we actually have one of the literally the best guides out there about the difference between free-to-play, subscribed, and preferred players, because it is a guide that has been worked on over the years. Like different moderators just took their time to update it over the years, and it's a pretty invaluable resource, because the official SWTOR.com guide about that used to have like a little chart showing what free-to-play players get and stuff like that, has actually, it was so deprecated and so out of date that they actually had to take it down. Like the link is just a dead link. Like it's probably better for it to be down than it to be up and telling people the wrong info, but there's nowhere else to find a really good chart like that. Oh, right, I did want to tell you guys about something, for those of you especially who enjoy roleplay. There are many podcasts about Star Wars: The Old Republic that I really enjoy listening to, and my suggestion is listen to them all, every day, every week. But that's a little too much for most people. But if you like roleplay or want to learn more about roleplay, one of the Star Wars: The Old Republic podcasts have been taking time to talk about roleplay specifically. They have invited some, I guess, well-distinguished guests to come and have segments on their podcast about roleplay, and one of them is Larry Everett, and he is one of the few very professional writers that writes about Star Wars: The Old Republic. He's on a very large gaming website. He has a column there about the game, and he is also a roleplay lover. He started one of the main Star Wars: The Old Republic roleplay sites. And he is taking time to not only write really good, well-scripted advice and ideas for roleplay beginners, but he also narrates it very well, very smooth and nice to listen to. So definitely I suggest checking out Passionately Casual is the name of the podcast, and any of the recent episodes, just jump right in, work your way backwards, I guess. Definitely highly recommend. Ooh, I like these little secret tunnels. That was a cool one. Oh, I have the cutscene, the UI turned off, darn it. Ta-da! Ooh. Quick entry. I keep forgetting we get these and I really like them. Chancellor Blotus, Galactic History 20. After the... Oh, we heard a little bit about this before. After the Piastia Crusades, the Republic stagnated, forced to rebuild alliances Piastia had damaged. However, during the Renatus period, the Republic began to enjoy prosperity again under the new Supreme Chancellor, Blotus the Hutt. Blotus had been the administrator of a network of mining worlds that split from the remnants of the former Hutt Empire. He and his worlds applied for Republic membership, and although tensions between Hutts and the Republic remained, Blotus proved both competent and popular in the Galactic Senate, who was eventually elected Supreme Chancellor by an overwhelming majority, and his position was solidified when his tax breaks for independent traders brought Coruscant into an economic boom and improved trade throughout the core worlds. Blotus served a 275-year term and died peacefully in his sleep at the age of 912. His rule would be remembered with affection for centuries. Even today, his favorite chair in the Senate Tower's lounge is traditionally left empty. Wow! So, compare that with our current Chancellor. For those of you who have played more recent expansions, you may know that they are not a very good person. They are no Blotus the Hutt. Okay, we have found all the datacrons on Dromund Kaas. Let's see what that looks like in our legacy panel. So I'm going to the icon of a little person, legacy, and then I'm going to datacron. And we have all of Dromund Kaas lit up. Woohoo! And these are all the other ones we have to find. There's so many, because there's ones for every planet. Then there's on the planets that are split into Republic and Empire, like Balmor and Terrace, there's different ones on each side. And then there's some of the expansion planets have them too. So many datacrons. And we are going to go and look for what lore entries we are missing. So we're going to go into our achievements and Dromund Kaas exploration. And let's see. We're missing some beasts, but I don't really feel like going to look for them. We are missing the monument to Lord Urgast. So to find those, we're going to type SWTOR, monument to Lord Urgast. And probably it's going to be the first result. It's going to be a good guide for us. And look there, it's SWTORspy.com. See, where do we find it? Ooh, it is a very easy one. Is our quick travel ready to go? We gotta hoof it back? Oh yeah, we do. Definitely missed that perk. Let's see. The good news is I think we aren't too far from a taxi. And the next one is located in the middle of Run, Javiik! In the middle of the Dromund Kaas city. Oh, something very important. If you're still listening, you're probably going to enjoy this. This Saturday, let me look up the actual date because I don't know when you're watching this. It will be this Saturday, which is August 26th. If you're watching this when the video first came out, that is this coming Saturday. If you're watching it a while after the video came out, you probably already missed it. Sorry. This coming Saturday, August 26th at 8 AM Pacific Standard Time. So if you're in California or on that side of the world, it's 8 AM and 11 AM if you're on the East Coast, like New York or anywhere around there. I am going to be joining my friend Kid Lee, who is a streamer and a YouTuber who covers mostly news and opinion types of videos. I like his stuff a lot. We are going to be doing a new player question and answer stream live. So he's going to be streaming on his channel. I'm going to put the link in the description of this video. I believe it's twitch.tv/KidLee, but don't quote me on that. I don't know for sure. I don't memorize URLs. And I'm going to be joining him at 8 AM on Saturday, PST time. And you guys can come say hi and ask him or me questions about ourselves or about the game. You can ask what our favorite, whatever is our favorite mount, speeder, cool stories about different parts of the game. You can ask Kid Lee all kinds of technical questions because he's smart, and he actually recently redid his whole office to make like a super awesome SWTOR setup. He's got like 3 monitors and like multiple microphones and like all kinds of crazy stuff. I think he's got 2 computers. One is just like a minor computer and one for actually running and recording the game. It's kind of crazy. Really nice setup. He's got a lot of knowledge just about the game in general. He really follows the news updates a lot, and has one of the channels that I usually recommend for news, so you could ask them things like, what do you think's coming up in the game, in your opinion, since you know so much about what has already happened. He's played quite a few different classes too. He knows more about combat than I do. You can come and ask me and him any random newbie questions in the game, things you've maybe been embarrassed to ask other places. Okay, we found our speeder. We can actually get to Dromund Kaas City now.
Ready for departure.
Or you can just
Enjoy
come along
your
to
stay.
say hi and chill out. He's going to be streaming. He's probably going to be running something in game while asking questions. It's if you've never heard about it before, streaming is basically showing what you're playing live. It's very similar to what you're watching right now, except the person is actually there. Like, they are playing as you're watching. There's only like a 30-second delay. So if you say, "Dear Kid Lee, make a funny face while you're playing," he could probably actually do it. Versus if you ask me to make a funny face, well, number 1, I don't have a video camera right here and you can't see my face. And number 2, I probably recorded the video anywhere between a day ago and up to a year ago. And that funny face is not going to show up live, sorry. And that's one of the really interesting things about streaming. It's not my favorite cup of tea, like in terms of watching. I like watching more, I guess, structured stuff, and I like things I can listen to in the background, like podcasts, because I like to be doing something. I'm not even very good at watching TV. I've got about a 30-minute attention span before I start wandering off. But one of the real draws for streaming versus creating videos, which is what I do, is that it is live. You can talk to people and they can answer and ask questions. You can say, what should I do for this decision in the game? What do you guys vote? And you can actually give them an answer and they can do it, choose that decision live. Okay, I think we went a little too far actually. I think it's one taxi back. Looks like over near that really cool cantina we went to. And there's also just, not only is there the fact of it being live, there's also a really social aspect of it. For example, you guys don't really, if you guys post a cool comment below in the comments, like someone will post a lore fact, maybe someone will stop and say, "Oh, that's really cool, thanks for sharing," or ask some questions or share some other lore that they know. But if someone just says hi, no one's really going to respond to them because the YouTube comments are not exactly a good place for a just little social casual conversation. That's just not really what they're there for. The comments are meant to be about commenting the video you're watching. But in a stream, there's always a chat, like a chat box beside the video that everyone can join in on. Technically, you could go into the chat box even if you're not watching the stream at all, and people will say hi and talk to each other and have like normal conversations, sometimes not even related to the stream at all. Maybe the streamer will ask a question like, "Oh, what's your guys' favorite characters to play?" And people will talk about it, and they'll talk to each other a lot more too. Okay, we're in the right place now. This is where SWTOR Spy said it was, but I don't know where it actually is here, or if this is just the starting point. Let's see if I can run around and hear the sparkle sparkle. Okay, that is a big negative. Alright, I see. Oh, it's because we're looking for a lore object. I'm so silly. I thought we were looking for a datacron. And yeah, I've seen a lot of streamers just use the chat really effectively to make it a really fun experience. SWTOR streams are not the most populated streams. I think the most I've seen in one in just a... Okay, here we go. In a normal stream is about 100 people, 150 people max. While some of the big streams can have literally thousands of people in them all at once for people playing like League of Legends or really popular streaming games. Alright, here we go. Monument to Lord Urgast. That's apparently this big Sithy thing right here. The early Sith Lord Urgast is more myth than historical fact. and the statue named for him in Kaas City does little to clear up any misconceptions. Commissioned by a follower of Urgast's teachings 2 centuries after the Sith Lord supposedly lived, and using that follower as its model, a small inscription near its base claims that Urgast invented the methods used by all Inquisitors to wring life from the living and the dead. Computer records contain little information on Urgast, suggesting only that he was among the first Sith to permanently settle on Dromund Kaas, and that he was probably buried there. Did we run into Urgast in the temple? No, the temple was built... the temple was being built before Dromund Kaas existed, if I remember right from those strange apprentice possessed quests. Urgast. You guys gotta remind me if that was something we saw earlier, because I have a strong suspicion it probably was. If not, it should be. Alright, let's see. What do we got left to go find? We got Sith Spawn. We did that heroic quest. That was really cool. The Obliteration of Kresh. SWTOR. The Obliteration of Cathar Sith. Sure. Google knows what I mean. It's okay. This one starts off. Where is this? This is... not too... Oh, darn it! It's in the Revenite area. Oh, I'm such a silly goose. We were so close to it, too. Oh, and our quick travel has a minute left. Curses, I say. I tried to activate my speeder, that didn't go well. I promised you, before we go to the next planet, I don't know exactly when, but before then, I'm going to get myself a stronghold with a legacy bank, and I'm gonna get myself a speeder so I can zoom when it is time to zoom. Yeah, I should just ride on Kembal's back. He's beefy enough to carry me around. Alright, get on the speeder.
Ready for departure.
Okay, yes.
Enjoy your stay.
One of the other things I like about watching streams, like I said, I don't watch them too often, but sometimes I listen to them in the background at work while I'm working, because I work as a web designer / graphic designer, so sometimes I'm just doing tedious tasks that require my hands but don't require a lot of thought process, or sometimes I'm doing something more complicated but I can multitask apparently. And streams are nice to have on the background because the person is often talking a lot like I'm doing now. I try to keep talking because otherwise you guys are just watching a blank playthrough. You can watch anybody's for that. And sometimes just be also very soothing. For example, I really like Chillcast, Chill from Utinicast streaming, and he has a very calm demeanor. He'll just often be talking about his character in the story and his decisions while he's in the cutscenes. It's just very nice and calming to listen to, and I like hearing what he has to say about his characters. And when I listen to Kid Lee's stream, who I'll be joining Saturday, 8 AM PST, August 26th. I need a calendar. He really takes a lot of time to interact with people visiting his streams, so it's nice to hear him be really social and talkative and chatty with everybody who's saying hi in the stream, either like saying hi to them or answering questions they ask, or sometimes asking them questions. So if someone says like, oh, I'm having a great day today, he might ask what happened that was great, stuff like that. Okay, we're in the right direction. I was told I could never return to the Revenite camp, but I'm returning because I need a datacron. This is totally not lore appropriate. Okay, it seemed like it was deep in the Revenite camp somewhere. One day I'm gonna make a guide that's called the spoiler-free datacron guide, just where I show like the first screenshot on SWTOR Spy. A very basic idea of where you start looking for it. Okay, it's somewhere around here. Oh, we didn't explore very well over here, did we? Not at all. There's a big droid. It has a guardian. It's called H8, aka Hate. Very nice. Detective demolition. Oh, defective demolition droid. Alright, DDD, you're going down! Don't get between a Cathar and his lore object! Oh, he's a bit of a tough one. He'd be a really good one for anyone wanting to practice like their low level rotation or something like that. Okay, we're gonna tell Kambal to attack him because he needs to go down faster. Yay! Some more crushing darkness is needed. My husband just walked in, he just finished a board game, and he decided to show me what exactly using the Force with Force lightning looks like in real life. Alright, let's get our lore object. The obliteration of Crash. Okay, calm down, music. The droid is dead. It's okay. Should probably move in case he respawns. Alright. Since before the Great Hyperspace War, the Crash bloodline was a proud and noble one in the Empire. Pure-blooded Sith Lords, strong in the Force, were born to the Crash line, generation after generation. Statues and monuments to Crash champions could be found across Dromund Kaas, until the Emperor declared the Crash name an abomination and ordered all evidence of the family obliterated. The reasons why are no longer clear, if they ever were. Once the task is complete, the Order itself will be wiped from history. Some believe that the last scion of the Crash bloodline somehow betrayed the Emperor, but anyone who knows the full truth keeps it to himself. Sometimes I really wish these were like Wikipedia links. I know they obviously can't link to Wikipedia or anything like that from the game, but I wish I could click them and go see other related lore entries. I'd love to hear more about Crash. It seems very familiar. I want to say I've heard that name before somewhere. I don't think I've heard it while we were playing, but maybe it's like from some other type of lore object. Okay, we've got one more. The Spires of Victory. Oh, and that's back where we started. Oh my! This was some horrible planning. I think when I did this the first time, I actually like took a look where everything was and like planned my route. But unfortunately for you guys, that would be the most boring thing to watch because it would just be me sitting there quietly staring at nothing. I already feel bad enough when I tab out to look at the maps. Ooh, and one of the other things I like about streams a lot, I'm sure you guys have noticed that I don't do giveaways or contests very often, mainly because I want to know that if people are enjoying my content here on the YouTube, like they're actually liking the videos, they're subscribing or commenting or liking the videos because they actually like them, not because free stuff. To be fair, if you're giving away free stuff, that's a good reason to like the video, but I really don't like doing them often. But when you're a streamer, when you're doing a stream, it's actually a more accepted part of streaming is to do giveaways. It's a more natural thing because you can do it for the people who are just there at the moment and not anyone who happens to stumble across it. And it's a really nice way of rewarding everyone who's chilling out with you. And so giveaways are a lot more common thing and a lot easier thing to do. And what's crazy about streaming is that Twitch and I believe YouTube, though not strongly, have what are known as chat bots, and they are basically programs. They're kind of like robots. They don't have like a physical body. They're not like using their robot hands to type on the computer, but they have a set of rules and instructions that they can follow, just like you can tell a robot what to do. So you could tell your robot, at 6 a.m. in the morning, please go make me some bacon and eggs and bring it to my bed. And the robot knows to go do that. In this case, the chatbots, you can tell them if someone says a naughty word, kick them out of the channel. And the robot will constantly watch the chat and do things like that for you. And that's a really basic example. Okay, we made it. There's one somewhere around here. I can't believe I missed all these ones. I was not paying attention. Did you guys see them while I was playing and were like, hey, stop, turn around. I saw a blue glowy thing. It's called the Twin Spires. I'm not entirely sure where it is. I know it is vaguely in this area. Ooh, big glowy thing. I've always liked this area a lot. It's this huge Art Deco thing with the imposing building in the background. I think my guild has roleplayed here a couple of times. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at the guide. I don't feel like you're around for a century. Okay, looks like it's possibly not on the lowest level. Looks like it's on this level. Nope. Check the other side. Alright, so these bots can do all kinds of crazy things, and they can do really simple things like share links and stuff like that. And they can do all kinds of really fun stuff, like they can play games with you, so you can like duel somebody in chat while you guys are all watching the stream. Or you can enter a mini contest or a fake boss fight operation in the chat. All kinds of fun stuff that the bot can be programmed to do. Okay, I'm so sick of looking. I need an exact guide. I need to look at the last screenshot. Okay, let's see. Look at my map. Where am I? It is down near the center, possibly? No, it's one up, that's why. I was right the first time, just didn't find it. Ah, I see, I was on the wrong side. Looking
if
for
my partner weren't here, I'd scrub my speeder clean with your face.
That's a nice thing to say, alright. We're looking for like one of those little... Is it up there, maybe? We're looking for one of those little placards. They're like on a little spindly stick and there's a little tiny blue sign and it's glowing. It's the worst game of hide and go seek ever! Hey, we found it! Ah, here we go. This is the Spires of Victory. And we got Lore Master of Dromund Kaas! This strange suspended monument was commissioned by the late Dark Council member Darth Gorgos in celebration of the Empire's victorious return to the galaxy and the sacking of Coruscant. It is the work of the Empire's finest engineers and took 300 slaves to build. The cascading prisms symbolize both the ascendancy of the Sith and the downfall of their enemies. The split centerpiece that supports the edifice represents the Emperor. Darth Gorgas was murdered by her apprentice before the statue was finished, but her successor oversaw its completion. This thing is so cool. I've always liked this giant statue. And can you imagine, somebody actually had to design this. So somebody said, I want to put a giant piece of artwork in the middle of Dromund Kaas, and they drew it, and then somebody brought it to life. That seems like a good place to leave things off here. So let us go to... go and we will do the next flashpoint, which is Hammer Station! Woohoo! See you guys later. Bye!